Peace. This is a Meat Potato Social Production starring myself, the Word Alchemist, and today's topic for the occult family is Christians and their magical gifts. Do some Christians have magical gifts, and are they tapped in to the spirit realm? Yes, they are. But they find this an anathema and blasphemy because of the programming from Judeo-Christianity. So I'm going to give some examples of how this works. The first one is Aleister Crowley's first wife, Rose. She had no interest in magic, automatic writing, or the metal dether, or the celestial pictographs of the gods and the forces of nature. She had no interest in that. So when the gods had chosen Rose as a vessel, that was hard for Crowley's ego to handle, because we have to remember he was a egomaniac. So that was hard for him. And this is how he knew the information that she had conveyed to him was real. But wait, there's more. Now let's flash forward. I remember this one woman, young lady, looked like she was in her mid-20s. She had tapped into Anubis, and she saw Anubis lichen or werewolf aspect, and she had talked about it. And Anubis is like, yeah, I am a werewolf. So, and for these so-called occult scholars, or armchair occultists, as I like to refer to you as, one of the books that talks about this is Werewolf Magic Volume 1 by Denny Sargent. And that's Anpu Were. Were is short for werewolf. And there was one other incident, and I talked about this before, and I remember this gentleman, he was at the bus and he was doing color magic, and he was like, it depends on the colors you wear, this is the energy that you're carrying on you. And he said, I don't talk about it because people get scared, and then that's not looked upon favorably in the Bible. And I'm like, but the last one, this is the greatest one of all. Young lady goes to Botanica, and this feel like that the Botanica, the statues were speaking to her, and they had candles and all that, etc. She went out there screaming, and her friend said, girl, you need to get covered in the blood of Jesus. Don't listen to everybody. First of all, if ever there was a candidate for worse advice, you're going to tell somebody to get covered in the blood of Jesus. So you're going to hedge your bets on the carpenter. Excuse me. Someone that couldn't even save himself, but he gonna help you out. And that's why people be like, oh, Jehovah this, Jehovah that. He don't care. The idiot God does not care, because he know, I'm gonna say this, and a lot of y'all gonna take it the wrong way, but so be it. Jehovah know a lot of y'all not built like that. So when I did my divination, that was her ancestors trying to reach out to her, because she had an occult gift. And there's another one. We know that New Orleans and Manhattan exclusively have a lot of vampires. This woman kept saying vampires will come into her in her dream. They wanted to touch and be around her. One thing she don't know by them doing that, if they're trying to connect with you, that's because you have a penchant to practice vampiric magic and be a part of the undead priesthood, because Santa Morte got that. Or you are a vampire yourself, and you're trying to suppress feeding, which you can't suppress because you're going to do it on the astral plane. And she was a Christian too. And Christians, they don't really know how to handle that. That's hard for them. That's difficult, because then that's going to start a domino effect, and then you're going to start having questions. Remember, the number one mantra of any religion from the Abrahamic Hydra is don't question, obey. All of them live by that. So yes, Christians can have magical abilities. And you got to remember something. It does not matter about that, because H.P. Lovecraft was an atheist. And what happened? Y'all, all of y'all loaded this up. All of them had tapped into him. Bruce Lee was an atheist. That's what he was. I remember when he did that interview in 1972 when he was making Way of the Dragon. But that was subtitled Return of the Dragon in the United States, where he fought Chuck Norris at the Coliseum. So it doesn't matter so much what you believe, but you can still have magical abilities, and you can be used as a vessel by spirits. So with that, that is your meat and potato sorcery for the day. I am the Water Alchemist. Be water, my friends. Peace.